Everyone praised you for being so mature for your age. You never caused trouble, you got good grades, and you always knew how to read the room. But what if I told you that being the good child wasn't a personality trait? It was a survival strategy. And now, in your adult life, it is exactly what is destroying you. Welcome back to the Mind Cafe. Today, we are exploring a silent epidemic, a psychological weight carried by millions of adults who look completely fine on the outside, but are secretly collapsing on the inside. We are uncovering the dark reality of being the good child. Think back to your childhood. Try to remember the atmosphere in your home. While other kids were throwing tantrums, making messes, demanding attention, and being overwhelmingly loud, you were different. You were quietly observing. You possessed an uncanny ability to sense the mood of the adults around you before they even spoke a word. If the house was tense, you made yourself small. If your parents were stressed or overwhelmed, you instinctively knew not to add to their burden. You became the easiest part of their day. You became invisible. You probably heard phrases like, "You are my rock," or "I never have to worry about you." And as a child, you wore those words like a badge of honor. You thought you were winning at growing up. You thought you were special. But what you were actually doing was abandoning your own needs to secure the love and stability you desperately required to survive. To understand why this happens, we need to look at how a child's brain processes danger. For a child, the loss of a caregiver's love or attention feels like a literal threat to their existence. When a home environment is unpredictable, emotionally volatile, or simply neglectful, children adapt in different ways. Some rebel, but you did the exact opposite. You adapted by becoming perfect. In psychology, this is often linked to the fawn response. You have probably heard of fight, flight, or freeze. Fawning is the fourth trauma response. It is the subconscious instinct to appease a threat by being utterly compliant. You learned that if you were good enough, quiet enough, and helpful enough, you could prevent the adults around you from breaking down or leaving. You became a human thermometer, constantly reading the temperature of the room and adjusting your personality to keep the peace. You were not naturally mature. You were hypervigilant. You traded your authentic self for an acceptable self. And this brings us to the deep, painful insight. The goodness you prided yourself on was actually a profound form of emotional suppression. You learned that love is not something you receive just for existing. You learned that love is conditional. Love is a transaction. You are loved because you are useful, because you are convenient, and because you do not cause problems. This follows you into your career, into your friendships, and especially into your romantic relationships. You find yourself completely unable to set boundaries. You might even find yourself naturally drawn to emotionally unavailable or toxic partners. Why? Because your brain is addicted to earning love by rescuing. You apologize constantly. You feel guilty for resting. You feel guilty for saying no, because your inner child is terrified of abandonment. But here is the twist. The strategy that kept you safe as a child is the exact mechanism keeping you trapped as an adult. You have spent your entire life abandoning yourself to keep everyone else warm. So, how do you stop? It starts with giving yourself permission to be bad. I mean, human. Healing for the good child is deeply uncomfortable. You have to meet that scared inner child and tell them, you do not have to earn your place. You are allowed to simply exist. Are you doing this because you want to, or because you are afraid?